Sifuna, this new plan to tax bread and milk, is this even a conversation that should be had at this point?
Yeah, conversations have to be had, and I'm glad the way that Honorable Baya has begun it. He has said a few things that I am sure even he doesn't believe. He said that Kenyans should not be worried. I think the history of this government has shown that, in fact, they will follow through on everything that they actually say. Whatever is reported in the media, sooner or later becomes a reality. And Trevor, we have said on this show that people in the capacity of cabinet secretaries are people to be believed when they speak government policy. I have also said that this government only tells the truth about our financial status and the plans they have for Kenyans. When they are speaking to the IMF, they never tell us the truth. They only tell the truth to the IMF. If you see the reports to Treasury, to IMF, is where you will get disclosures. For instance, the most famous one was that the G2G oil deal was actually not working. They would never tell that to the Kenyan public, but they will tell them the truth to the IMF. So these comments that were made by Njuguna Ndung'u, the mere fact that he made them at an IMF function, Kenyans should believe them. Number two, if you look at that story, there is a reference to the medium-term revenue strategy, which is for 2024-2025 financial year, and it actually provides for a cleanup of the zero-rated products register within Financial Bill 2024, expected next month. If it is already in the revenue strategy, I am telling you this is something that is going to happen. And you see, the truth of the matter is Kenyans have now become numb to these taxes. We will wake up any day now and we will hear that there is a tax that has been imposed on oxygen. Trevor, I will not be surprised. And when Owen Baya says that MPs are sensitive, he knows he's not telling the truth. If you ask your average Kenyan, even in his own constituency, if they think he is a sensitive member of parliament, the answer will be very interesting. And then, instead of saying that we as the majority, the people with the power to actually impose these taxes, are going to resist the tax, you put a very specific question to him. He throws the ball to us and says, oh, this one opposition, we expect you to make noise about this proposal. My question has always been, why can the people with the power to do good just do good? Why do you come up with proposals that are going to hurt Mwananchi? Then you sit and say, let the opposition make noise. It is very unfair. You know, these guys, honestly speaking, they are overworking us. As a member of the opposition, I feel overworked. Because every single day when I wake up, there is something to fight this government on. Today, I have just arrived, I see this proposal on bread and milk. And if you look at the sentiments of the government, again, you will see that these are people who are totally out of touch with reality. When Professor Ndung'u says that bread and milk is largely consumed by the middle class, and he knows the statistics that the middle class actually in this country are a minority. They are a very small proportion. Here in Nairobi, almost 70% of the residents here do not consider themselves middle class. Yesterday, I was seeing a report that only 3% of Kenyans earn 50,000 and above. Would you call those people the middle class? Bread and milk are consumed largely by children. Everyone has children. Even the people in the slums have children, and those children eat bread and milk for breakfast. The people who go to industrial area to work, like we were talking about it before the show began, all they can afford is to buy half a loaf of bread and maybe water or soda and drink, and that is their lunch. You cannot say that this is a luxury item. Bread and milk, honestly speaking, Trevor. So when we see these proposals, personally, I'm not surprised. And pronouncements are made by key members in this administration. When they are made, they very quickly translate into legislation. I saw there was a conference on purportedly claiming to be fighting illicit alcohol. And certain pronouncements were made there that we want to take back liquor licensing and control of liquor to the national government. And sooner than we could say no, there was already a legislative proposal. I saw the Deputy President directing the Leader of Majority in the National Assembly to prepare an amendment bill. This is something that is a clawback to devolution. Every single day as a senator, I wake up to push back against this government's policies, which essentially shouldn't happen. We should be allowed as a country to have conversation about progressive things. On the same page, you can see there is another new levy in planned agricultural, in agricultural commodities exchange. Honorable Gagusha will tell us about how his avocado farmers are doing. There's a lot of issues, Trevor. The other day, I hope we will get opportunity to discuss. They forced through the housing levy, through the affordable housing bill. Even common sense proposals that came from the opposition, they rejected. For instance, we had proposed that if somebody has been diagnosed with a terminal illness, for instance, cancer, you should allow that person to focus on their medication, which you know is very expensive. And you cannot be selling this person an affordable house after 30 years. Very common sense proposals, Trevor. We tried to introduce a cap so that the Kenyans who are suffering from all this high taxation can get some reprieve. Yeah. But of course, our efforts fall on deaf ears. It is impossible to convince members of the Kenya Kwanza administration to do anything good by the people. So I will not be surprised. Owen Baya will blame the media, but I will not be surprised that this particular proposal will find its way to the finance bill because it is already in the medium-term revenue strategy, and Owen Baya will vote for it. He cannot say here that he will not support. He is looking for Sifuna to oppose it. Okay. He knows I am outnumbered. I want him to do good instead of doing bad and calling for Sifuna to make noise.